Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear students, this is Ayasuddin. I welcome you all to our first online session of 10th standard science subject. We all know that because of this COVID-19 pandemic, we are unable to do our regular live classes. So, inshallah, we have decided to do online teaching sessions. So, before we go into our today's lesson, I would like to give you few instructions which I want you to follow for this online classes. The first instruction is that before you start your session, I want you to take your textbook, that is science textbook, and be prepared with the lesson which I am going to teach. That is the first one you have to do, and also you take your notebook with your pen so that you can take notes while I teach you. And the third instruction is that you sit in a place which is not noisy and it has less distraction. And fourth instruction is that you uh, you listen to the lessons carefully. You sit in a proper place and you listen to the video. You don't lie on a couch or on a sofa. You don't watch the video like this. You be serious while you watch this video. Keep your book in front of you. Open the lesson that which I'm teaching. Then you keep your notebook with your pen ready so that you can take notes. And I know that this online session is not like regular classes, so keep yourself active so that you don't fall asleep while I teach. So inshallah, let's start. You know that Afashar has taught you last term. He taught you few lessons, and inshallah the remaining lessons in the science subject that I will cover in this semester, inshallah. And the first lesson which I'm going to teach you now in this semester is that in the module 5 you have chapter 19. The lesson name is classification of living organisms. Dear students, you know that on earth we live, there are many living organisms, like you have humans, you have animals, you have birds. They all look different. For example, birds have wings but animals don't have wings, and humans look different from animals. So the living organisms, they differ with each other physically and also structurally. So the way we classify the living organisms based on different characteristics, different features, is what we call as classification of living organisms. The first topic that which comes in this lesson is that biodiversity. What is biodiversity? The definition for biodiversity is that the enormous variety of organisms is termed as biodiversity. That is, many variety of organisms on earth is called as biodiversity. This word bios means life and diversity means variety. That is a lot, many types. So on earth we have a lot of variety of living organisms, like insects, you have animals, birds, like thousands, like and millions of living organisms that Allah has created. So this variety of living organisms is termed as biodiversity. And there is not only diversity in size among organisms, that is, you see one animal small and another animal big. It's not only based upon size but also based on other characteristics. For example, bacteria or simple single celled organisms, and humans are made of a trillion cells and are highly complex. So we don't only classify organisms based on their appearance or physical feature, but also based on how they have their structure. The second thing, uh, In this slide, I want you to show that we have made a flow chart here, that we have classified living organisms based on nutrition. That is, what do they eat? What do they eat? For example, we humans, we eat vegetables, we eat meat and all other things. Likewise, there are animals, they eat grass, and some animals they eat other animals. So, and the bacteria, they have their own food take. So based on what kind of nutrition the animals take or living organisms take, so they have prepared a flow chart. It is based on nutrition, so that is in the first level. Here they have divided into two, that is autotrophic and heterotrophic. They have given the definition. Autotrophic means food prepared from inorganic raw material, that is those organisms they can prepare their own food. For example, humans, we have to depend on other plants and animals for our food, but autotrophic organisms can prepare their own food from inorganic raw materials. And you have heterotrophic, that is food from other organisms. For example, humans or heterotrophic. Under autotrophic, you have chemotrophic, that is some bacteria they can produce food for themselves using some chemical processes through inorganic raw materials. So the energy from chemical process used to prepare food, that's what called as chemotrophic. And you have phototrophic, that is like plants they trap the solar energy, that is from sunlight, and they prepare their own food using a process called as photosynthesis, that inshallah which we will study in our upcoming lessons, mostly plants. And under heterotrophic you have holotrophic, that is eat or other organisms, that is most animals, for example cheetah, lion, tiger, all this they eat other animals, so they are called as holotrophic. Then saprotrophic, that is they feed on dead decaying matter. For example, so there are some dead animals, so certain bacteria and fungi they take their food from the dead animals, dead decaying matters, whether it be plant or any dead animals, so they are called as saprotrophic. And you have parasitic, that is they obtain food digested by others, certain bacteria, fungi, plants, animals. For example, ascaris, roundworm, head lice, that we have on a head, in local language they call, I think, pain. So that's called as head lice. They live on other living organisms, and they take up their energy from their food. So this is a flow chart that they have made based on the classification of living organisms based on nutrition. And the next one is, I have an activity for you guys. For you students, that you have to write on your notebook uh, to make a flow chart like this, that is the contents given here or reproduction. So you have to make a flow chart of classification of living organisms based on the reproduction, that is asexual, sexual, single parent, two parents. And respiration, how respiration happens, oxygen from water, that is fishes, then oxygen from atmosphere, that are humans and other animals. So likewise, there are the points have given here. So you either you ask your friends or you refer to the internet, and you make a flow chart same like this inshallah, but based on the classification of living organisms based on reproduction and respiration. You have to make two charts and write in your notebook. And the next topic we are going to see is levels of organization. There are three things we are going to learn in this. First one is biosphere, second one is ecosystem, third one is species. Biosphere is basically the physical part of the earth on which organisms can survive. That is, on the earth wherever the living organisms can live, then they are called as biosphere. So in the air, living organisms like bird and insects and others can live, and also on the earth, and up to the sea level, that is under the sea, fish and other organisms can live. So anywhere wherever on earth uh, the organisms can survive, can live, they are called as biosphere. Ecosystem is basically a specific definite geographical region in which various species of organisms live and interact with each other and the physical environment. That is, for example, pond. You have pond, you have river. This can be called as ecosystem. So you can call pond as a pond ecosystem and river as a river ecosystem, and terrestrial, that is land, they forest type, they can be called as terrestrial ecosystem. So it's like particular place or like a particular definite region where a group of organisms live, then they are called as ecosystem. Third one is species. Species is a group of very similar organisms. They look very similar and they can interbreed to produce fertile offspring. That is, they can breed within themselves and they can produce kids, that is offspring. So for example, humans are one species, and there are other species living on the earth. So if they cannot interbreed, if they cannot interbreed, then they cannot be called as species. So species are like very similar organisms, they look similar and they can interbreed, that is they can make this thing fertile offspring, that is kids. Okay, these three things you have to remember. The next topic is levels of biodiversity. The first one is ecological ecosystem diversity. There are different ecosystems and even related organisms living in different ecosystems. That we talked about ecosystem, that is pond is one ecosystem and ocean is one another ecosystem. Like this, there are different ecosystems, that is related organisms. Same kind of organism, same related organism can live in two different ecosystem. That is, for example, tortoise. Tortoise, they live on terrestrial, that is on land, and turtles, they live in ocean, that is in aquatic, they live in water. They both are related, but they differ much. For example, especially in their feet, um, tortoise, their feet look big. So they, even though their ecosystems are different, one lives on land, another lives on water, but they have the similar features. So when you talk about terrestrial ecosystems, in that forests come, plains come, that is like plain lands, and deserts come, and mountains come under this. Aquatic ecosystem, you have sea, river, pond, and others like lakes, etc. So second one is species diversity, that is how they differ with each other in species. Variety of species living in a certain geographic area constitutes species diversity. That is, in one place a certain species will live, in another place, another geographical area, another group of species will live. So this diversity is called as species diversity. So one species cannot interbreed with another species, that you have to remember. The third one is genetic diversity, how these living organisms differ with each other based on their genetics. Or genetics, we will see what is genetics. So you know that organisms are made up of cells, and cells in the nuclei contain chromosomes which bear the genes. So you have to just remember now that cells contain, that organisms contain cells, and cells contain nuclei, and the nuclei contains chromosomes, and the chromosome contains genes. This you remember for now, I don't want to complicate it now. Inshallah, in the upcoming lessons we will learn more about this. So just now you have to remember what is genes. Genes is basically they control the features of a particular species. For example, humans, one person differ from other person. One person looks small, another person looks tall, one person looks black in color, another person looks white in color, or other colors. So one person has certain kind of shape of eye, another person's eye shape is little different. So these are based on the genes. Each individuals have some genes, and but particular species will have a group of similar genes. So that's why all the species. Humans all look same, but other organisms look different because their genes differ each other. So the third point is that every species has a gene pool. We have to remember that gene pool is that all kind of genes found in a particular species. For example, if you take humans, then one person will have a little different genes in his gene pool from another, in his genome from the other person. But when you take up humans as a whole, then all the different kind of genes that are found only in the found in the humans, then they are called as gene pool. That is particular species. If you take humans as a one species, then what are all the different genes found in this particular species, then that is called as gene pool of that particular species. The next is patterns of the biodiversity. In the global scenario, you see that entire world is divided into 6 biogeographic regions. That is these are the 6 bio geographical region. Here you have neo-arctic, and you have, this is called as neotropical, and this is called as Ethiopian. This blue color is called as Palearctic. Then you have Oriental, and you have Australian. So these are the 6 biogeographic regions. I ask you, please remember this, write it down and memorize this so that you can, inshallah, remember this. So this biogeographic regions, they are classified based on the different kind of living organisms that live particularly on those particular regions. For example, elephants are found only in Asia and Africa, but in other places elephants are not found in the world. But if you take grass, then it is found all over the world. So that's how these biogeographic regions are divided. Next one is how in the Indian scene. We saw about global scene. Now we are going to see the geographic regions in India. India has two biodiversity hotspots. That is Western Ghats. The second one is northeastern regions, including Eastern Himalayas. So we have to know what is hotspots. Hotspots are basically here the regions of the world where many different kind of organisms live. For example, in Western Ghats, only like different kind of frogs live. Western Ghats is like near the South India, so there are different kinds of frogs live, which are not present in other regions. So in that particular region, many types of living organisms, that particular species living organisms live. So they are called as hotspots. The flora and fauna are heritage. So flora is basically everything related to plants, and fauna is everything related to animals. So they are our heritage, and we must conserve our biodiversity. As in India, we should conserve our biodiversity. So here in the map, the two hotspots of India are given. This is the Eastern Himalayas, that is northeastern regions, and you have here Western Ghats. These are the two hotspots where many different kind of species live. Okay, in the mountain regions, in the forest regions, various kinds of species, living organisms live, which are not present in other regions. So that's it for today's class. Hope you understand whatever I taught you. Inshallah, let's have a summary of whatever you have taught. So initially we told about the biodiversity, what is biodiversity, its explanation, and next we saw about the flow chart of how living organisms are classified based on the nutrition. Then I asked you to do activity, make a flow chart based on reproduction and respiration. Then we saw a level of organization, that is biosphere, ecosystem, and species. Then we saw levels of biodiversity. This one levels of organization, this one is levels of biodiversity, and we saw ecological biodiversity. Then we have species diversity. Then you have genetic diversity, how organisms are like classified based on their genetic pool. And then the patterns of biodiversity, we saw global scenario, and we told that there are 6 biogeographic regions. And when it comes to India, there are two hotspots, that is two biogeographic regions. One is Western Ghats, another one is northeastern regions. So we saw what is the meaning of hotspot, and we saw that map in India. That's it. Please take down the notes, watch one or two times, and remember whatever I have taught. Inshallah, next class we'll see about the classifying and naming organisms. Okay, jazakumullah khair. May Allah make it easy for us. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.